Pause before we get into this video. What's pop, lock, and dropping, you beautiful people wherever you may be in the world, and welcome to my channel. If you're watching this video, that probably means you're not subscribed, because about 90% of you are not subscribed to this channel. And if you want to see more chaotic content like this, I suggest you do so. Until next time, friends, bye.
My biggest pet peeve on planes is when there's kids in the seat in front. Okay, you know when you lean back, like you check who's there first, and then lean back enough that you're not actually encroaching on their knee space?
Actually, I don't look back. I just do it slowly, so I give them time to react.
Yeah. These kids will just go like 0 to 100, and then they smack my knees. And
yeah, well, that's kids.
They'll go back and forth,
and
right?
you're tall.
Unpopular opinion, but I've never had that happen. I've been on flights with babies crying. That's annoying, but that's why you take headphones. But I've never had someone able to lean far enough back to like become a problem for my knees. Is that a normal thing? The seats don't go back that far. That's what I'm saying. I've never had that. I've had like crying kids on a plane, but I've never had someone able to lean back far enough to like hit my knees. I've never been on a plane. The first one's always scary. Anybody that tells you that they went on a plane and their first flight wasn't scary, they're lying to you. It's scary the first time, but after a while you realize that it's actually extremely safe, and it doesn't even bother you anymore. But that's just personally, my personal opinion. I like flying. I like the turbulence. I like it when it gets really fucking terrifying, right? Like I like it when you're sitting there, the plane drops out of the sky, the lights flicker a little bit, drops down. That has happened to me, but you know, I can't stand like people on the planes. I'd rather be alone in dealing with that, but yeah, it is what it is. I guess it might be for taller people. I'm 6'5". How much taller do I need to be? I've never had my knees smacked in an airplane. The only time it has happened to me is on a puddle jumper. That would make sense. Okay, tiny plane. Yeah, that makes sense. Extremely safe. Every plane crash ever. How many plane crashes has there been? How many plane crashes to car crashes to train crashes to... It's literally one of the safest forms of travel. So that's nice. Just a really long roller coaster, pretty much. Except I don't like roller coasters. Is that weird? Is that weird that I like flights, but I don't like roller coasters? Like, I'm not a fan of going on roller coasters. It's not weird. I like both. But I like flying. I don't like roller coasters. Oh, same. I'm not a theme park, water park fan. I love water parks. Okay, to make it even weirder, right? I don't like roller coasters. Love water coasters. I like the adrenaline rush. That's the problem. I don't like the adrenaline rush. You don't drop down in flights. Yeah, that's what I like about flights. I like the turbulence. Okay, story time with Schmidt, everybody. It's story time. We haven't done one of these in like, man, the better part of like a month. Holy crap. So, as I was saying, I like flying. I like being on airplanes. I like the turbulence. I like the white noise of the jets going next to me. It helps me pass out. I like being able to see out over the world and check out what's going on. I like seeing the clouds underneath. I love flying. Like, flying is fun to me. But I had an ex-girlfriend a while back, and she had never been on a plane. She had never been on a plane. She'd never been to an airport. It was wild. And my mom was getting married at the time. And we decided, well, let's go. I'll take you up to Wisconsin. You go meet my mom, and, you know, we'll see how that turns out, right? She didn't tell me until the day before we're about to fly that she's never even been to an airport. I'm like, oh, great. It's not that bad. It can be a little creepy sometimes. The turbulence is like a roller coaster. You know, you drop and your stomach kind of goes up into your throat and you're like, ah, but you're safe. It's one of the safest forms of travel. I was warning her, you know, I was giving her all the facts and everything like that. Like, it's not that bad. Is it the safest form of travel? It is the safest form of travel. Anyway, I was letting her know, you know, I was trying to help her stay calm for the flight, because I don't need her freaking out while there's a baby screaming in the background and some dude biting a flight attendant in the front. But anyway, time comes, we pack up, we're getting ready to fly out. We had to be out of the airport by 10 o'clock. That was when we were supposed to fly out. 10 o'clock p.m. Neither of us looked at the end of that, and we ended up showing up at the Atlanta airport at 10 a.m. and proceeded to sit there for 12 hours with no money. Couldn't do anything. We brought books, and that was it. My phone had died about an hour into being there, so we had to sit at this airport 12 hours straight waiting for our plane to take off. Finally, 10 o'clock is approaching. We get to our gate, we're getting ready to board, and literally as the plane pulls up, it starts downpouring. I mean, pouring. Thunder, lightning. It's like the whole thing was a hurricane that just went and cleaned up the whole area. So all the planes were grounded. We got to sit there for another 2 hours while we waited for the rain to go away. 14 hours of sitting in this airport now. This is my ex's first time in an airport. Great experience. Great way to experience the airport for the first time. We finally get on the plane. We're one of the first flights out of there. They got us backing up. They got us moving. I mean, this was probably the quickest loading of a plane I've ever seen in my life. Got us all on in like 5 minutes. Finally get on the plane. It is stormy outside. It is still rainy. There's a lot of clouds. And for those of you that have flown, you know what that means. There's going to be some gnarly turbulence. And I warned her. We're sitting in our seats. I buckled myself in. I'm like, make sure you buckle yourself in. Buckle it in a little tight. There's going to be some turbulence. Don't worry. It's creepy, but that's about all it is. Plane shakes a little, maybe a drop for a second, and it's like, whoa. But nothing prepared me for what was about to happen. Plane starts heading down the runway. Right off the bat, wings are like bouncing. So you know it's windy outside, right? Gets off the ground, and right off the bat, gets off the ground and does this. Woo, whoa, and keeps going. It straight dropped for half a second. Stressed me the fuck out. I'm like, okay, that was terrifying. That was creepy. Now, typical cruising altitude for an airplane, I believe, is about 30,000 feet. Okay, for a commercial airplane, you get way the hell up there. I mean, way up there. So it takes a little bit for you guys to climb to that height. And in our way were probably some of the nastiest storm clouds I have ever seen during a flight. I started to troll a little. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna die. I look at my ex, I look her dead in the face, and I'm like, this isn't good. We're gonna have problems. The plane is having issues right now. That should not have happened. We're really struggling. I don't know what to do. Make sure you're tightened in. And just like, yeah, to be a dick, I guess. I was just being a dick because she was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad. She's like, oh, you know, whatever. And I had to make her sweat a little bit. But don't worry. She started sweating, and I was soon to follow, because as soon as I stopped doing that, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just messing with you. Really wasn't that bad. We don't have to worry about it. As soon as she stopped sweating, and as soon as I had finally been like, okay, reset, plane does this, boom, and just drops. I'm talking plummets to the earth. The plane, so what happened was there was a bolt of lightning outside that I don't know if it hit us or it hit by us, but it shut everything off. It shut everything off in the plane. The lights went out. Everybody was screaming. The plane dropped like a rock, dude. It was nuts. So we're basically free diving down to the ground. I'm waiting for everything to fix. The masks drop down. She's screaming. I'm like gripped on, like, oh my God, I'm actually gonna die. Finally, the lights flicker back on. Everything kind of rests up and we keep cruising. And nobody knows about this except for you guys, I actually shit myself. I actually pooped myself on that plane. It was so bad. No, dude, little turd went boop, and I was like, wow, I have to go use the bathroom. Bro, I have never been so scared in my life. That plane, because it was like out of nowhere. It was like a little bit of turbulence, cruising. And all of a sudden it just went, and I was like, ow! We ended up making it to Chicago O'Hare. No scratches, nothing happened, but it was one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever experienced on a plane, and I actually myself. And at the end of the day, I look back on it and I was like, you know what this is? It's karma. Because I sat there for like a steady 10 minutes giving her shit over that tiny little bit of turbulence. And then God's like, all right, let's see how tough you are when I drop the plane 5,000 feet. So, and then at the end, the pilot comes on and he's like, hey, just want to let you guys know, yes, we did have a little bit of a problem there. We lost some electronics as we were flying through the storm, and we actually plummeted 10,000 feet. Like, talk about, oh my, I thought I was gonna die. I actually thought I was gonna die. That was one of those moments where you get off the plane and you don't even like walk to your baggage. You just kind of sit down in the chair and you rethink everything you've done in your life because all of it just flashed past your eyes in the course of like 10 seconds. So there's a little story time with Schmidt. A little bit more to add on to that. When we were flying, I wasn't able to go to the bathroom, okay? I had shit myself, and they weren't letting me go to the bathroom because we only had like an hour left, and they weren't gonna turn the fasten seatbelt lights off. So I had to sit on this plane in my poopy underwear with this pissed off lady next to me who I just trolled the shit out of right before we both basically almost witnessed our own deaths. And all the meantime, just sitting in my own fecal matter.